The owner and chemist for Gables Cosmetics in Los Angeles, California. The company that I run is currently in its 81st year of operation. We're one of the oldest family continuously operated companies that is, I believe, is out there still. Most of the companies that we've known and grown up with have long been sold or rebought, or other people own them, or somebody bought somebody or whatever. But names that you know that I've grown up with are now gone or being bought by larger corporations. I'm still one of the little family companies, the independent bottling companies that make a product for under the Gable brand or a private label cosmetic brand. And that's what I do for a living. Besides making products, shampoos, conditioners, hand lotions, styling gels, I make products for the movie industry. We bottle products like fake blood and have clients and customers that use that in the movie industry. So if you've seen ER or something like that, you watched my corn syrup coloring actors, so you could go, ooh, that was gross, and blood everywhere, and people spit it out or throw it on a wall or whatever you have to do, because the grosser the blood, the better the blood. So we work with a lot of neat people, and I'm very fortunate in working with a lot of those folks that are into the makeup departments for designing in, or having them have us make a chemical for them to do something with. So that's what I do for a living. And today I'm going to talk about chemistry. In chemistry, I love chemistry, because chemistry, unlike any other science that we have, is the only chemistry is the product that cannot lie. Molecules do what molecules are designed to do. They basically go into a product, a shampoo, a conditioner, food, anything you want. It's chemistry. Probably the first science. It started out in a lot of respects because chemistry was the first thing that man ever did besides farming, I guess, and the oldest profession in the world. Chemistry came along probably third in that thing. They learned how to make soap, and for those of you who want to know why that's important, the most important factor that we have besides getting our bodies fed is getting our bodies and keeping it clean. Hygiene is extremely important. Without a good hygiene, we have diseases, bacteria all over our skin at all times, and even today as we speak, we all have this beautiful skin organ, the largest organ in the body, protecting our bodies from the invasion of bacteria. On an average case or average day, the body has quite a few different bacteria on your skin at any time trying to get in, so we always tell you, and when it comes to sanitation, I was involved with that when I was on the state board, please remember, cleanliness is the most important part of your job. I can't stress it enough. Your instructors here knock themselves out to make sure product is sterilized, tools are sterilized, your hands are clean. You are one of the few, in fact, other than the medical profession, you're the only other profession that has the right or the ability to tactily contact a client. You touch them or they touch you back. For example, a licensed attorney, you don't even have to shake hands, and a lot of guys, do that knuckle bumpy thing, That's cool. Your accountant, whoever. But in your particular case, you're one of those few clients or customers have that contact. Massage people, manicure people, barber people. You're in that touching business. Can you imagine your dentist, deciding to clean your teeth without washing your hands before you and the last person? That's pretty gross. Same with doctors. And so you want to make sure your areas are clean, and I like this because we talk about products in general. They make something, and the combination of chemicals makes something new. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's give you a background on how it started. Up until about the 1950s, everybody washed hair with soap. Beginning of time, we knew how to make soap because you take a fat, any type of fat, lard, something, olive oil, grease, meat grease, whatever you want to call it, and we made soap. Boy Scouts know how to do that because you cook your hot dog over a fire, just let the grease go in the fire, and you dump water on it. Well, the ashes are potash. That's one of the ingredients you should see when you look at fertilizer. There's three ingredients. You have your nitrogen, and you have your potash. But potash is unique in that respect because it has an alkaline substance. It is a base or alkali. On the scales, as you remember, 0 to 7, which is your neutral number, you have an acidic number base. And everything from 7 up to 14, as you know, is an alkali. And ashes happen to be alkali. It's what you use in order to make lye. People would take the lye out of the soap, put it in bags, dip it in water, let it drip, and you would get an alkali. One of the ways that you can get lye, and that's where you get the lye soap term. One of the nice factors of having soap, and we've used soap forever, you put a little perfume in it. People have made it at home. There's 1,000 YouTubes on how to make soap, which is really cool. And Grandma forever would always save the grease around her pans. Take the grease, put it in a little coffee can, stick it on a back porch. In case you're not sure what a back porch is, that's the little place that used to be outside the house before the new houses were invented. They also had a front porch where Grandpa sat. We don't have those anymore, but she would save those, and on one Saturday she would get together, take her water, put it in a pan, maybe boil it or whatever, scrape all of the grease that she got out of for frying her food, because frying was the nicest way to make stuff, add a little bit of lye, and guess what? You turn that whole glue into just soap. The term was called saponification, and where we get saponify from. And we had soap. Take a little bit of soap, stick it on your hair, put it in a mug, shave it around, and you could shave with it. Pull the whiskers off. A byproduct of that soap was glycerin, and hence the term glycerin soap. We loved it because the glycerin added some lubricity, some glide, and it gave it a smoothing pull to pull off your whiskers, and we used it forever. Soap is unique, however. One of the bad products about soap is if you had hard water, with the water it formed a tub, a bathtub ring. We don't even know what a bathtub ring is today. You kids, if you're going to wash your children or whatever, or soak in the tub, nobody has a bathtub ring. We use detergents today, and we don't have the bathtub ring residue that we did with soap. I don't think they even sell products on the market for bathtub ring. If you remember Grandma's day, I would ring around this and ring around the tub, and those days are gone. But that was soap, and that's how we used it. It actually rubbed off the dirt. It was more of a lubricant. Today, we still make soap, and it's used for pulling cables through little dies to make wires. We use it to lubricate screws, bolts, the nuts, to stick them in the walls. It's still a great lubricant because of the glycerin. About a number of years ago, a German scientist decided he needed to replace soap. War effort came along. There were a number of motivations. We got to find some other way to clean our military. A dirty soldier is not an effective weapon. You got to have to make sure that he doesn't have athlete's foot or some fungus or disease. He's got to be a true warrior like you see on TV. I mean, you don't want to have Thor being not an effective, cool Thor alien guy if he's got athlete's foot hopping around and he really can't fight good. You know, all things being equal, you got to have a true warrior. They're an asset. You can deal with the loss of machinery and you can deal with the loss of other assets, but you can't fight a good war without your soldiers. They have to be kept clean. I'm sure many have heard the stories about how we have to worry about, keeping armies well fed, keep them happy, make sure they're clean so they can be good soldiers. He came up with an idea trying to make sure that German had some sort of edge on cleanliness, since production of glycerin for nitroglycerin, nitric acid and glycerin, makes a cool explosive in whatever war efforts that they had. How do you get something else to work on your hair to wash our soldiers' bodies, feet, guns, tanks, clothing, you name it? And he came up with the detergent molecule. And the detergent was a very unique thing. Now we call it detergent because it's basically a sulfate. Today, as you know, sulfates are on a no-no list. I will tell you why later if I can remember part of my speech and without all the pressure of having you stare at me without asking questions. But the cool part about it is, oh, by the way, stop and ask a question. Sometimes that's really cool. It's a sulfate, sodium lauryl sulfate, the first one out there, SLS. People have demonized it, everybody hates it, you may not hate it, you may like it, I don't know. But that was the first one out there, sodium lauryl sulfate. And we have a variety of sodium lauryl, sodium laureth, ammonium lauryl, you name it. Why do we use them? It's the same reason we make recipes when we have food. We pick the one we want for the client, we want for the needs they want, for the product that they want. So we can vary those particular chemicals. But SLS was the first one. And it was a very unique chemical. The sulfate actually found out in the SLS, well, where do we find the grease? Because there was no grease added. And when he realized that you guys are greasy, icky, oily people, and greasy, icky, oily, as you know, is really good because guess what? You have the oil. Sulfate, oil, he basically made soap on your head. So, stand in the shower or sink or wherever you're demonstrating the product, add it to your hair, add water, starts moving it around, and guess what? You generated soap. Now, as long as there was grease on your hair, you could wash. Now, what's unique is in my entire life, I've only washed my hair one time. I never lather, rinse, and repeat, even though on every bottle of shampoo I make for everybody in the world, lather, rinse, and repeat. We put that on so you can use twice as much. It has nothing to do with cleaning. Technically or theoretically, if you make a good shampoo, the first time you wash, you're done. But we want to make sure that you guys all use it twice as much. I like to say lather, rinse, and repeat, and lather, rinse, and repeat, and one more time. I could make 3 times the money. It would be neat. Except you won't buy that because you only did that twice with soap. Now we basically do it once with shampoo. But your clients expect it. The reason why is traditionally you guys always used 2 latherings when you use soap. Because your grandma did it, you will do it, your children will do it, it will be on forever. Everybody expects you to do it twice. I don't know, what you do in your home is your business. What I do at my home, I've never lathered, rinsed twice in my life, nor has my mother. But we do it for the clients. They expect it. You got to get your money's worth, and so please feel free to waste as much shampoo as you can.
Why don't you?
Why? What?
Why don't you lather, rinse, and repeat?
Why do you need it? The hair is already clean. What's this? A good question, by the way. What happens is once, here's how it works, by the way, it's really cool. You get the head of hair wet, pour the detergent on it, squirt it in. By the time it runs into the sink, all the dirt and grease on the hair generally is just washed right into the sink. You don't need to do the manipulation part, but it feels good, people like it, and you do it. And the more you do it, the better it is. Now, in order to make it look like soap does, we usually add the 3rd ingredient to the formula for the detergent, which, by the way, looks just like something this. This is what it comes in a sulfate blend, and this is how we get it. And we get this particular brand from the Pilot Chemical Company, very nice company, and we use a lot of that product. That's where we get our detergent from. Well, let me tell you, it's detergent, but to you guys, you're the only people that call it shampoo, by the way. If it's we sell it to the rug companies, it's detergent. We sell it to the dogs. I don't know if I think that's still detergent. Dish detergent, car detergent, everything else is detergent, except when it goes to your business and we call it shampoo. Shampoo basically came from, I believe, a British fella, from the Hindu word shampooia. And that was scalp massage, because the folks love massage in that part of the country, which I have to admit I do too, by the way. But that's part is really neat. So you do a little bit of the manipulation part, and that's what looks like you're lathering when you're shampooing. So hence the term, somehow, I don't know how it got caught on, but today we call the product shampoo. Thank you, British guy, and thank you, the Indian culture. But in order to make it work, which is really cool, what we do is we add bubble enhancers like a Cocomide propyl betaine or some other product. I call it bubble bath, foam booster, whatever you want. But you got to give it the lather to make it appear to look like soap. Question?
Is that necessary?
It is not. And in most professional shampoos, we really like to cut the bubbles out. But in home use, because most of our product today is for home consumption, you're doing home maintenance. You want to buy a product, you want to sell a product, you make 40% of your income from retailing. So we basically, when a contract comes in and a client wants to come in, they go, first thing I ask them is, what perfume you do and how much bubbles do you want? I remember having one contract guy come in and basically he had his perfume in hand, and then the question was, I don't even care if it has detergent. I just want it to lather like mad because the girls think lather's everything. They have no idea if it's cleaning or not. Just stand in the water and eventually the water in the shower will soak all the dirt off just by rinse. So as long as they're doing this and as long as you do that, it's like bubble bath. You add water, you add manipulation, you're going to have people just come out and bubble your brains out. It was, I don't want to call it a trick or a gimmick, but he understood the marketing, and people understand that they want bubbles. You want bubbles. Now today, as you know, the sulfate-frees don't bubble for crap. We've been making sulfate-free shampoo, never thought it would actually click. I think Guffey Ranker with the Went Company was the first one to start it. Very good company, nice people, and they have a very nice product. I don't believe it lathers very well. I don't think it cleans very well, but people buy it, and I think that's wonderful, so God bless them. I think the world of them for having a very successful product. it's just not my product. You know, we all have our favorite hamburgers, we have our favorite Coca-Colas or whatever. And as long as people love it, God bless them. This is America, and I want people to be prosperous. And if you want sulfate-free shampoo, I make them for 3 contracts that I have too, because it got started, it has a popularity and legs of its own. I will make one too. But that's what we do. We put in the foam boosters. Question?
So it has to have sulfate in order for it to be completely
A complete molecule, correct. Now there are detergents that are sulfate-free. Why did we ever use a sulfate-free? Well, if you have a product you want to clean your rug, you don't want a lot of product. Well, you don't need to clean grease. There's no grease on your rug. It's usually just dirt. Dirt, grime, or mud. And really all you have to do is get it into a solution where the vacuum cleaner with the clear nozzle so you can see the mud come up so you know you're doing something. And that's how that product works. And so if it had foam, you'd have, who's going to have shaving cream all over your, you don't want it. So you want something that's very, very low in foam at all. Something very, very thin so it goes through the machine, squirts down without lathering, and something the vacuum can vacuum back. Hence the word perfect product, and you need a sulfate-free type of product if you're going to clean that. And that's the only reason that makes any sense. But that's a good question. That's why it was invented.
But what about for the color-treated shampoo, hair?
We've had color-treated shampoos, as you know, for the last 20 years. Well, we've had sulfate-free shampoos for that long, but you've also had sulfated shampoos that long that were for color-treated hair, or for thin hair, or for dry hair, for you name it hair. 9 times out of 10, you know, we will adjust the formula for whatever somebody would think. I'm one of 700 companies in America that do this. Maybe more even. And the reason they like to buy from me is the fact that they want something that they can ship to locally. If your company is in Florida, why in God's name would you call me up on the phone and say, I want to buy from you? Call a Florida packaging company. Shipping from here to Florida, you know, a package of something is $1,400 for a pallet. Shipping it from a Florida company to a Florida consumer yourself, maybe $200. I was on vacation with my son in Washington, D.C., looking around at the salons to see what was out there. And it was amazing to see every brand that I thought I knew, Paul Mitchell, Joico, or Sebastian. I didn't see it in these salons, two salons I went in. They had totally different brands that I had never, ever heard of in my entire life. That was great. So, you know, and I kept thinking, well, have you ever heard of Lanza? You know, good brand out here. And the guy looked at me like, I never heard of it. Well, apparently the Lanza rep never made it to Washington, D.C., or they don't have distribution, or whatever the ors are. I have no clue. Not my problem, that's their company's problem. But they just didn't have it. So I kept thinking, well, that's odd. So I kind of realized shipping water all the way across the United States from a factory that may be up or down the street here, because there's a number of competitors I have here in Southern California, that's a lot of expense. The biggest kicker is like, you know, it's like, why would you buy milk from California and send milk to South Carolina? It's just too expensive. You might as well buy milk from a milk factory already there. Shipping is a killer. So I would imagine a lot of companies, and what we see are, you know, why do you think Procter & Gamble, you know, has a factory and uses a company out in Chino to have some of their products made? It's practical. You want to have something closer to your region. Coca-Cola has to have a bottling factory here. You're not going to ship Coca-Cola and make it in Atlanta where it's invented and ship it out here. It's, you know, you're going to have a Coca-Cola factory in Japan and wherever else. You got to have them, you know, moved around the globe. But that's how the business works. So sometimes you have a good name and you go, oh, everybody should know it. I'm in Hollywood. This is where the world turns. Therefore, I'm going to, you know, think this is cool. It doesn't necessarily work that way. You got to work on the practicality of, you know, how far do I have to ship it? Because shipping can take all your profit. So that's how it works. But the next ingredient, like I mentioned, is bubble bath. I call it bubble bath, but it's foam enhancers. What we used to use for 1,000 years was a product called Cocomide DEA. California is the only country, by the way, or country of California, naturally. We tell the world how to think. We're the only place that says Cocomide DEA is illegal to use. It's on the Prop 65 list. So a lot of the shampoos that in fact, all the shampoos that I made for California and anyone else, it's completely gone. We use no DEA.
Why was it bad?
Well, they felt, and that's the word is felt, thought or perceived that it could possibly cause cancer. there's no definitive proof, no one really knows for sure, but only California feels that way. 49 states and the rest of the world does not believe it. But we have to obey California law, or we're all going to go, you know, get burned in hell and die or something bad, I don't know, whatever happens. Or we get sued our pants off because supposedly, you know, we have these lawyers that look for these things, that read labels like mad to see if we do it. My biggest fear is, you know, a lot of companies who've had this product and the product's been on the shelf buried because beauty supplies or the beauty salon has not rotated its product, even though companies like us have, you know, pulled it all off the shelf and have tried to say, oh, hairdresser, if you see something that's 3 years old, that's really dusty in the back, try to get rid of it, throw it away, don't sell it because, you know, it's still good. It was good as of, I believe, June of last year. You know, nobody's used it since. We haven't used it since in California. But, you know, trying to remember, you know, you still have some at home. You know, don't get crazy about looking at the bottle going, oh, it was on under my counter. It's 5 years old. It's, you know, time to throw, you know, clean up and throw stuff away just so you can be current in case somebody's walking through your house going, oh, you can't use that. You know, then they have a conniption and, you know, want to be upset with your life. So who knows. But anyway, that happened to be one. Another odd one, by the way, is I know we don't use, speaking on the don't use list, how many have heard the thing where we don't use parabens, methyl and propyl paraben? If you heard the parabens, we don't use them, don't want parabens. In Asia, they love it. They won't allow anything in unless it has parabens in it. They're just 100% opposite of what America thinks. Which is interesting, to, you know, even though we don't use parabens on your hair because, like you say, it may cause cancer, we think, or somebody thinks it's bad, the government in that case does not have any issue of parabens. We can put all the parabens we want in the product. There's no Prop 65 issue. But it's a no-no on the list of people who advertise that. Now what's really odd, in case anyone ever reads labels, and I'm a label reader, gee, when you go buy your Crest toothpaste or your Crest mouthwash, first thing it has on the ingredient contains parabens. I mean, if it's good enough for your mouth, it's not good enough for your hair. I have an odd thing on how salesmen come and talk to you about why you shouldn't have it. I mean, give me a break. Hair, mouth, what's, you know. But apparently you can put it in Crest, you can't put it in shampoo. Don't ask me why. So don't get in an argument with your customers at first thing, oh, does this contain parabens? No, it doesn't contain parabens. We yanked them out. Just don't gargle with Crest. Try not to say that. We don't want to embarrass them.
So what about Colgate?
I don't know. I haven't read a Colgate box lately. But a lot of these things are similar, by the way. Read labels, and you'll find out what shampoos do what. You will know. Question?
The parabens, what do they? I know that they make the product last longer, right?
It's a preservative.
Okay.
Because most of the stuff is made with water. Like I make gel. Gel is 98% water, and water has a propensity, as you know, to grow bacteria or some other, you know, mold. It gets nasty. So we want to put a preservative in it to make sure the shelf life is going to be there, where it doesn't turn rancid on us. And so it's just it's a precaution, a preservative, in order just to maintain that. So that's why it's in there. There are 1,000 things. Well, I say 1,000. There's a number of things that we can choose to use to keep the product from becoming or staying safe or
Do you
becoming
think
bad.
it's bad for people's health?
For preservatives?
Yeah, parabens.
I have preservatives in my food. You know, every time I want a slab of bacon that I get from Oscar Mayer, I want to make sure there's preservatives in there. The last thing, you know, I need is to eat something full of bugs, bacteria, and get salmonella. So you know, that's probably why I think in my mind we live longer. The life expectancy, I think 100 years ago was a whole lot less than what it is today, and I think we have healthier food, we have the FDA, we have government regulations, and I think preservatives, you know, keep the food. Now, you girls are the magic people. Like you buy shampoo is how we operate my entire house. You have the magic nose. Guys, we don't have a good nose. I know how you buy. You first look at a bottle of shampoo and you go, this is a cute looking bottle of shampoo. You yank it off the shelf and you go, oh, that's nice and thick because we made it thick on purpose. Thicker shampoo is worse than thinner shampoo because it's harder to get lathered. Remember when there was Clairol Herbal Essence and it came on the market, you squeeze it and it came out like a big worm and you let it go and go right back in. And a lot of it was on the floor, you smashed it on your head, you couldn't get it to flash, it wouldn't foam. off the market it went, now it's back. I had to readjust the formula so it would, lather quicker because it was so long. Well, thick, thick is not good, but you love thick, trust me. So we make it thick. Whether it's good or bad, I don't care. And if you waste it, I don't care. But that's what you do. Though, then this is the magic thing. Why in God's name do you have to smell every shampoo in the world going up and down the aisle? I have no clue. It's a mystery to me, but I love to go shopping, stand in the aisle, and I do this and watch you gals go up and down the aisle smelling everything. Somehow you can tell by smell what's good or bad. Never read the labels like color treated, for dry hair, for oily skin, for this, for that. It just, oh, it smells so good. I want someone to explain that to me.
It's an emotional thing, feel-good thing. You go to the shower, you feel good, it smells good, it's holy.
Yeah. It makes us really shower.
Painful, ladies. Painful. We knock ourselves out to make a shampoo that's beautiful. Takes all the gunk, gum, goo, crap out of your hair. And you buy it because it smells good. Try to pick for us. I had one client that I made a product for, a men's hair care line. He changed the perfume 4 times until he found the perfume that actually sold, that men would like. And actually, the funny part about it wasn't the men who liked it. He discovered it was the girlfriends of the men who liked it, and he wanted to make sure that the girlfriends could smell their boyfriend's hair or head, or they smell good, because apparently if the boy smells good, the girls are attracted. And you laugh like, yeah, why? I mean, apparently you want to smell good, boy? Is that why they advertise Joe, the smell good plumber out here? You need to smell good? Now, I do admit that men do not smell anything. I really don't care. I open up the fridge, there's something left over, I open it, I eat it. Then my wife will yell at me going, "Did you smell that before you ate it?" Was I supposed to? I ate it. She says, "Well, let me look. Oh, this is bad. We should throw this away." But I ate it. What part of our did we miss here? If it's bad, throw it away. Well, I was going to get to it. Guys don't smell anything, which is why 80% of all shampoo purchases in this country, and I don't know about the world, are made by ladies. You guys pick it out. You pick it out for us. Whatever's in the shower, what it's there, is what my wife wants. That's what I use. You guys will pick it out. You determine what you like. We follow along. I don't know where the other 20% comes from, but that's what we determine. If you notice commercials on TV, everything is geared for you ladies because, like you said, it's for oily hair, silky hair, thin hair, dry hair, color-treated hair, short hair, long hair, you name it hair. I mean, whatever problem you've got, we now have a shampoo for it, and the more problems that we have, the more shampoo I can make. So we're trying to invent problems all day long for you. And we're thinking of these. Is it all the same to me? It's shampoo. Okay?
Stressed hair.
See, I never thought of stressed hair shampoo. Because I look at the product and I go, okay, everybody knows what Excedrin migraine is. You go buy it. The main ingredient on this thing is acetophenamine. Okay? Take 2, 500 milligrams. So apparently, if you know what a migraine is, you buy this. If you have tension, not a migraine, you buy the tension version, which still has acetophenamine in it. So I don't know the difference between this acetophenamine and that acetophenamine, but to me it looks like acetophenamine.
They have all the same ingredients, both of them?
Well, this has...
There's gotta be something different though, right?
Well, this one they add a little bit of caffeine to make it go faster. If you don't have time to spend, I guess maybe the migraine goes away slower. But who cares? If you could drink this one and have this one with a cup of coffee, comes out the same way. Or swallow coffee and get the same effect. But that's kind of cool. But unless you have a PM, whatever that means, I have no idea what your PM is. But you have a Excedrin PM, which is basically, like you say, this is acetophenamine.
To make you sleep.
Yeah, it's for nighttime.
Oh, good. Well, then, don't drink the one with caffeine or have a cup of coffee. Have this one because you don't drink coffee. And unless you guys don't like that particular brand, then you can buy the Tylenol Extra Strength, which is stronger, or not as, I don't know, stronger than the not so extra strength. Maybe it's just strength plus. But the ingredient on that one is also acetophenamine, still 500 milligrams. Unless you want to do their version of the Tylenol PM, And guess what? If you read the label, it's still also 500 milligrams of acetaminophen basically is the main item, and a muscle relaxer. Welcome to the world. I have no idea if you need an aspirin tablet. My mother loves names too. She believes Anacin is the best aspirin. She only takes aspirin, none of this. And all these, in 95 she is, and she believes Anacin is the best brand. She's hooked on that brand. It's aspirin, for crying out loud. What else can I tell you? So I go buy a Lucky's brand aspirin and fill up her Anacin bottle, put it on her shelf, and she knows it works and swears by it. Tablets out of that Anacin bottle, her headaches go away and she feels good. I hate to play with, but it's Mom. I know that there's no difference with aspirin tablets. It's aspirin. But she's hooked on that brand. What we're selling today is a very unique thing, especially with shampoo. 25 years ago, in this particular market, shampoo was only a cleaner. It was simple. Soap was only a cleaner. That was all we did. Today, well, let me tell you, there was a great article I read, or a book I read when I was in college. Vance Packard wrote it. I don't know if it's even in print. You could probably buy it on Amazon or some book club. Called Hidden Persuaders, a very outstanding book. And it talks about a lot of industries, especially ours. And about 25 years ago, how the market changed was we didn't sell shampoo to clean your hair, wash your dog, or clean. We were selling hope, hence the term of all the things you're talking about, a shampoo for your color-treated hair or your this hair. We were selling hope. You girls wanted to hope for something. I don't know what that something is, but we're selling hope. It's not a cleaner anymore. And if we could define the hope of what it is that you hope it to do, I don't know. But here's the plan, and this is my commercial and why I like to do these schools. You're here for the most important part of your life. You're spending all these hours, 1,600 hours, to learn to use your tools, which are these, your imagination and your heart, to make somebody look beautiful and feel good about themselves. It is never, nor will it ever be, the product you use on their hair to clean. I can assure you that you've come to this school already knowing how to wash hair. No surprises there. That's how you wash hair. You were doing it since you were old enough to be in the bathtub by yourself. You don't need an instructor and I don't think there's anything on the hours that say hair washing 30 hours. You know exactly how it works, where the water comes from, what the shampoo does, how to move it around. You do it twice because the customer expects it. It's done. Trying to find the product you like is like deciding which hamburger you like. And for me, I see it as all the same chemicals, just a variation like a recipe. If you want it one way, I add it. I would imagine for those of you who cook and like to cook, when you look at a recipe book and see what's available for recipes, there's probably, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 different combinations of barbecue sauce. I like to barbecue, grill burgers, grill steaks, and whatever, and I love barbecuing. Everybody's got their own favorite personal barbecue sauce, plus the kind you can buy at grocery stores, which are now the popular range. You can buy Papa John's or Uncle Ben's or Famous Abe's or Mr. Ribs or whoever's in your neighborhood for their barbecue brand. Chris and Pitt's an old name. I make my own, from my own personal family experimentation for barbecue sauce. I like it. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But we all make those kind of things, and it's just like cooking. Consequently, making shampoos, conditioners, styling gels are all done basically tailored to the needs of the client and what you expect to sell, and or more importantly, what a salesman can walk into your shop, salon, or beauty supply and actually convince you to buy, retail, and sell to a client. And that's how the marketing is done. Today, most of the people, sadly, as you see when you look around and who the clients are, I'm still working on that first super lady that comes in and gives me a product, makes a product, and becomes successful. Most of the people in this world are, you have Ernest Gable started our company, John Sebastian that started Sebastian, Steve Stefano that did Joico, Paul Mitchell and John Paul starting the Paul Mitchell line. I mean, when you go down the list, it seems like, Al at Johnny B, Champ Cruz, John. I can go down the list for Peter at Suavecito, you name it. Why is it a bunch of guys all do something that they don't necessarily ever buy, selling to ladies who buy everything? You guys where's the lady out there somewhere in this room or somewhere that will come and say, I want to be the next famous shampoo goddess. And I'm still waiting for that to happen, but in my career I could probably find all these guys. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if it's an Asian line, a black hair care line, a Hispanic line, a Caucasian line. I mean, it just seems that's the nature of the business. Look around the room and find out from, who's out there, who's done all this stuff. It's just absolutely amazing. Who's the backbone behind the company? Was some guy figuring, I can sell this lady a good story because all I have to do is look her in the eye and say, trust me, and you ladies go, boom, 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 boom. That's the magic words to you ladies. I mean, just, you'll buy anything. Oh, trust me, this stuff is really going to make you look, and your heart goes, I have hope that it will because I want to be fill in the blank, whatever that be is. But those are what we have. Other than that, kiddos, that's shampoo. Now, what do we do with the shampoo? Because I have some time here. Well, we have to add the puffering items. The FDA actually gave it a name, cosmetic puffering. Those are where, oh, my shampoo needs vitamin E. We can put that in. Oh, my shampoo needs protein. Pick the protein you want. Keratin protein basically is the new buzzword for proteins. We used to use, and I still do, I like a wheat protein. I think wheat protein is one of the best. I like it. By the way, it's a gluten-free wheat protein that I use in case anybody has a gluten allergy. I don't think there's enough in anything to actually trigger an allergic reaction, but for advertising, I get the stuff that's gluten-free, but I like wheat. You can buy silk protein, soy protein, you name it protein. Keratin, which is animal protein, is currently the more popular. I don't know why it's popular. We stopped using animal protein years ago in respect for PETA and the environment. But once we changed the name from hydrolyzed wheat animal protein to keratin protein, bingo, you want keratin protein in everything, and you haven't a clue that basically it's an animal protein in most of the cases. I think that's probably what got Joico into trouble. Remember, they were selling the product was human hair keratin protein, and I think Eric Stossel had it on 2020 if I remember, but it was cool. And he was going around in this hair show. It was back when they called it the Ice Show or something in Long Beach or whatever it was years ago. And he asked the guy, well, where do you get the human hair protein from? And if I remember the answer, he said he got it from third world countries. And everybody went crazy about what third world country are you talking about? Whose head are you shaving? And to be honest with you, of course you don't shave. You can't get protein out of hair. Hair's dead. Do you have any clue how many millions tons of hair you'd have to shave to get any kind of protein to use? This is a bovine product. Most of the time, and I believe they did, everybody did, bought it from Croda, very good chemical company. They made a very nice keratin protein product, and that's what they were using. But it was a bovine product. So it comes from the skins of nice little furry creatures. Nothing is wasted in the animal meat business. Question?
Yeah, is that kind of like the same thing when they advertise hair color that has no ammonia? They have to be using something that does the same thing as ammonia.
That's correct. There are
What is it? Do you know?
For hair color?
Yeah.
Well, you have your peroxides, but there's a lot of variations on what you can use. Like in straighteners, by the way, there's a variation of chemicals that will work. Now the question is what works better? The question is do you like baking soda or baking powder? One's 4 times stronger than the other. One actually is alkali and another is basically an acidic. The question is when you're cooking and baking, which one do you use if you're doing bread or you're doing one or the other? So there's things in chemistry that we know and play with. You, on the other hand, are just supposed to be happy using it, determining on what you're marketed and what your beliefs are. And we cater more to your beliefs than practicality. Because if you believe it works, we've made a sale. And that's all we need is did we make a sale? And if you're happy with the product, we're basically done at that point. It doesn't have to be the best. It just has to be a product. I can tell you how many things that I have made that were never probably one of the greatest products I ever invented. But the salesman was absolutely a dynamite, sharp, brilliant. He had everything that a salesman could walk into. He could sell Eskimos ice cubes. This guy, and people have that talent. And that's probably what separates the successful finished product business owner from the person who's not. Sadly, in my business, if you're interested, walking in my door, making a product does not guarantee success. My success rate is 1 in 8. For every person that walks in, I make a product for, 7 I never see back for a second order. Okay? That's sad to me because they had the right product, maybe the right thing, everything was right, maybe the plans didn't line up, but they couldn't market it. They couldn't. One of the was an interesting lady. Had a product called Denali. She was in a Beverly Hills shop, a Russian gal, cute as a bug, married to the stunt actor for Nickolas Cage. And when he walked in the door, damn, I thought, this is Nickolas Cage. I mean, this is really cool. But he apparently is the double or actor that works with that particular actor. Wherewithal to make a line for her, and she wanted to have her line in Beverly Hills. And she put it in a beautiful clear plastic bottle, you know, one of the PET styles, blue shampoo, had a great paper label with her in a scantily outfit, which was really cool, kind of like rated NC-17, not quite, but close enough to be cool. And then she went and found somewhere in the jewelry mart a little plastic jewel emblem to hang around the neck like a neck hanger, and we made a whole batch. I got a call back from him one time going, well, apparently the people in her salon did not appreciate the fact that she was only a hairdresser trying to break in with a new line when they already had the brands that they knew that they thought were famous because of the trade name. What we do today, unlike I say, about a couple, 20, 30 years ago it started, people started branding, and branding became important. Before, everybody just wanted to buy shampoo, what was the best price, money was tight. Nobody wanted to spend money that they didn't have on something they didn't need, that they didn't want to impress somebody with. So guess what? Shampoo was just a commodity. Today, we don't mind spending $40, $50, $60 for a quart of shampoo and walking out of the store with $150 buying a shampoo cleaner. It's a cleaner, kids. Don't get excited about, you know, whose name is on it. I don't want to throw rocks at all the nice people who have branded products, and I appreciate they do, and they still will, regardless of what I say. You know, and their differences, and they feel or can justify their difference has a significant value, and that's cool. I appreciate. But where we are today in a lot of the products that we do, remember, all we're doing is washing hair. You're here because you're learning a talent. People come to you, your shop or salon, because you have skills. When you all graduate from this particular school, you know, you're friends and buddies now, but on the day of graduation, you're in the market, you're not competitors. You want as many clients in your shop as you can, because the more clients you have, the more money you make. You can't sit there reading Modern Salon magazine all day long with an empty chair. That's no income, no matter what you have. And people are not going to walk in your salon just because the door is open and you have a whole rack of shampoo brands that you spent a fortune on out of your own pocket, tying up your cash, collecting dust that every week you have to dust, hoping that somebody will come in and buy when they can buy it at swap meets, beauty supplies, any other salon, you name it, up and down the country. They came in because you are the best hairdresser. That's why everybody kind of moves up in the food chain and tries to get the salons in Brentwood, Beverly Hills, or wherever. I can almost assure you or think, or what I've seen, when we do products for the studios and the makeup artists use it on clients, I don't think they've ever asked, well, what shampoo are you using on my hair to get this stuff out, because I got all this crap that you put in so I could be an actress. When you paint some actress blue, like they do Miss Lawrence or Mystique in the X-Men, well, great. You think the lady really worries about wet cold cream to get that stuff off? She doesn't want to go home looking like a smurf. She has to get that stuff off, get dressed, go home, work on her lines, get ready for the next shoot. Next morning, she's back at the studios, back in the thing, you know, having appliances added to make sure that she can go out there and act, because she is a working person and an actress, and basically she's paid to act. Some poor guy has to make her blue. Besides that, don't get crazy by spending a lot of money. So much of it's the same. There was a super lady who I have the greatest admiration for, Paula Begon, who did a lot of work on just, I don't know, the word isn't debunking, trying to put some focus like I do here about what you're wasting your money on. Anything you can buy in a salon, you can buy at a grocery store or Albertsons. The big league that's the big league. I can assure you that, because a lot of the things that you've seen, my mother has seen, and everybody's grown up with, which one time was a salon-only product. Once it gets to be the big boys and they get the big boy pants, they're at Albertsons, Safeway, Rite Aid, you name it. in a grocery store. You look around and you go, wow, look, I can go to Long's and I can buy Paul Mitchell or something like that.
It's also true.
It makes the transition over. Don't get crazy about the products. It's the same. A lot of things that we do are hair shiners, in case anyone's curious. Not an advertisement, but I buy my hair shiners from a company called Chemtech. They're backed up and down the street here, I think on Topanga or down the street. Great company. They make silicones. Probably one of the finest silicone blenders. But if you've seen name brand fill in whoever at your salons under whose ever private label, spray on, buy a drum, buy a perfume, a little alcohol, you can make your own shine blend. These folks are really cool. If you want the more thicky kind, they also do the really cool kind that's, like pasty thicky, kind of fun. We make I don't make silicone, I just buy it, color it, perfume it, stick it to you, stick whose ever name on it, and you're in the shine blend business. Kind of one of the things, and it's odd or unique, and I think maybe it's not a secret. If you want to know the product is going to be professional only, it usually does not have a UPC code on it, because most salons that I'm aware of, they do not have UPC. When have you seen a hairdresser with a UPC scanner? Most of the time it's designed for being a grocery store item, because grocery stores, Albertsons all scan, as you know. So it comes in, it goes out, it's scanned. But 9 times out of 10, most of the professional products I see, watch for UPCs. I'm going to make styling gel because that's the quickest thing, because I've got about 11 minutes. Okay, we start out by adding pure water from the city of Los Angeles, the finest municipal city water that's known to man. Nothing but the finest. It has all the nutrients and chemicals that the city of LA can't afford by putting what came out of my faucet I got out of the kitchen at work before I came. Now, Granddad had the unique distinction of being the first gel maker in America. Us and the neighbor across the street who made Dippity Doo, if you remember that one. Well, the guy from B.F. Goodrich, Benjamin Franklin Goodrich, by the way, that's what it stands for, when this was first invented back in 1950-51, first companies they came to see was, what do you do with this stuff? It's a great idea. We're going to make gel. Now, I don't travel on airplanes with it because you can see it looks like a little white powder, and because you talk about the TSA people, who are very nice, by the way, I want to say nothing disparaging in case they see this video and I'm going through and I have to get strip searched for hours. I don't want to offend any of you. Please, this is not anything illegal. It's called carbopol, and it's what you make gel out of. And so basically, I do this all day long. We have 5 tanks. This is normally the electric mixture that mixes these tanks that are about 300 gallons of product, and I have about 6 of them kind of cooking. So stir it up like you're an electric mixer. Okay, while she's stirring it, we would normally add color. Gotta have color. Everybody likes it. I make blue gel. First gel ever, by the way, was blue, as you remember. Blue gel, yellow gel, clear gel, black gel, purple gel.
Green. Red gel.
I have done pink. I haven't done red. Red, well, I do red. The amino line. Hair does pink. You're right. It's kind of a very dark. But we do a lot of colors. I don't think I've done green.
Oh, there's a green one out there.
There probably is, but I don't think that's one that I've done. But we make it color. So you got to have a color, or no color. It doesn't matter to me. We will at that point perfume it and add a resin to it because the resin gives it some firm. We also want to basically at that point we shock it or convert it with a product, and now we use a product called aminomethylpropanol, AMP95, and it gives a sticky feel. Now if we want it really sticky for men's hair, what we'll do is add some sorbitol. Sorbitol is really cool. It makes it feel, it's a sugar product, makes it feel like crispy, snappy, so you can do the spiky look. So we will add AMP. Now just like we talked about soap, where you change the pH, you make soap, I'm going to change the pH of this particular product. You can stir it now.
To what?
I'm changing it to alkaline. Right now it's just the pH of water. And the AMP, besides being sticky, also has an alkaline pH. And when you get it, all of a sudden you get gel. And we do this all day long. As crazy as that sounds. And that's all we do. And as you can see, you can stop. You get blue styling gel. Now the variations of blue styling gel are endless. This is the normal gel where you get a clear gel, which is what the original was. Today, what's odd and popular is the cloudy gel, which is thick and pasty and flakes like a son of a gun.
Tell us about the bubbles in the gel.
Well, for some unknown reason to me, you people enjoy having pure gel is like a pudding. It's like weight. The more bubbles we put in take up space in the jar. So if you have bubbles taking up space, you can kind of like fudge on the weight. Instead of having a 16-ounce jar, you can have a 14-ounce jar and have it the same volume by putting bubbles in. We put a smaller orifice on so it sounds like going in so I didn't push the bubbles in. Don't ask me why you like bubbles, but it doesn't do anything for the gel. I've never seen an air bubble as a fixative for hair. So the perfect gels in the old days, back in the 50s when gel was invented, were the thick, creamy, like pudding kind. And the heavier the gel, the less bubbles. But you won't buy it without the bubbles. I don't know why, so we put bubbles in. And depending on the amount of perfume we put in, that's the next thing. Now, like I say, today the current trend is to have a gel that is no, I'm not done yet. Can I excuse you? Thank you. Is to make it cloudy. We would make it cloudy by adding a perfume. You stick a perfume into water, much like anything. It'll turn it milky. So that's the current fad, is to have a cream-looking one. The other thing that's odd, besides gel, the new fad now is the ringing gel. You've probably seen that. There's some great companies out there, Suavecito or Layrite or something, Dax or whomever. You go boing on the side and it vibrates. Those have been around forever. That was probably before this was invented. That's what people use. So it's an old technology, but old becomes new. Everything will cycle itself. After you guys are old and my age, somebody will say, hey, guess what? We went crew cut again. And I go, I haven't had crew cut since 1960s. I mean, when everybody had flat tops. But that's how that goes. But that's how it's done. In case you're ever short on gel one times and you need to make a spray gel, but if you add a little salt to your gel like this, it reverts, and so you can take it and put it in a sprayer. Whatever the ingredients are here are still there, but now they will revert and you can kind of put them through your spray bottle. If you need to make a quick spray gel for use in your, because everything that was sticky in there is still sticky in there. If you ever want to make a spray gel in lieu of a hairspray. Thank you very much. Give her a big hand. Thank you.
So would you say that it doesn't matter what product, or shampoos or whatever we use, or is there?
Correct. Not to me, there isn't. For me, it all cleans. When I go on a lot of vacations, trips with my wife all across the country and in different spots of the world. Whatever shampoos in the boat, plane, hotel, I use them and have a good time. It all seems to work. I seem to be squeaky clean when I come out. I've never looked and go, let's see, what is fragrance of the goddess when I was on this cool boat when I was taking my wife to the Bahamas. I don't know who made it. It didn't even say. I didn't care. But it worked just fine. Life was fine. It's a cleaner. It's just like I never really worried about where the lamb chops came when I was eating them off the boat. It was just great lamb chops. And where the French fries came from. They could have come from Brazil. They could have come from Utah. I didn't care. It's still food. Don't get nutsy about it. Who cooked it, you ladies who does the hairstyle, is the most important factor. Was the chef, 4-star rated? Was he world renowned? Did he come from Disneyland? Was he the chef at the White House? Man, I want to have this guy cook for me. That's what you guys are here to learn. You're here to become that super hairstylist. Not that super, I don't know anything about anything, so could you buy my gel, please, because I don't know what I'm doing person. I don't think many people will come back to your shop if all you can sell is stuff. If you want to do that, don't waste your $1,600, all your money. Go buy a beauty supply. One of them down the street, Boba, is up for sale probably. You could buy that one and sit there all day. So, question?
Yes, just to, so that shampooing conditioner in one, I don't get why it would clean and then it would condition the hair in one.
I can't either. And for the life of me, what kind of shampoo would it be if it didn't wash stuff out and the conditioner was in it? How smart is the conditioner to be sticking on the hair at the minute that you're rinsing it off, and then the next time you wash your hair, the shampoo goes on, and it somehow knows to wash out the shampoo from the first shampooing and deposit the new shampoo from the second shampooing. Man, that's pretty smart. I don't know how to do that either.
Okay, and second one.
Go ahead.
The ions on blow dryers and flat irons and all that stuff.
Okay. And do they do what?
Yeah, what do they do?
I
Like,
have no clue, because that's like that commercial where somebody has deionized, not deionized, water somehow that is a negative ion water that's supposed to cure cancer. I don't know about that either. Just, you know, one of the biggest things that we have in hair and why it's damaged is the handheld hairdryer. Handheld hairdryer is, and why you shop is, oh, I don't want a 1500 or I want a maybe a 2700 watt hairdryer. Well, I don't know about you, but in the morning when my kids and my wife are drying their hair and they plug in those hair dryers, that's 27 100 watt light bulbs all turn on at the same time. That's hot. You know what a 100 watt light bulb is. You know, you can burn yourself on it. But 27 of them all at the same time, it generates a lot of heat. And obviously, if you know one of those hot air popcorn makers that everybody sees, and because you don't have to put any oil in it, well, it has to cook those popcorn up at past 400 degrees in order to get that popcorn to pop. Well, if it can go to 400 degrees, what is it doing to your hair? If you have any kind of protein in it, it's called microfracturing, and Crota has some great pictures, one of our chemical companies that we buy from. And microfractures where the hair will actually split, pop open, and then when you pull it through a comb or the tines of the hair, you get one of these, a breakage. So we try to make a lot of things that we say repair. There's no way to fix it. Once it's broken, it's broken. We can kind of plaster it together, seal it over. It's like trying to paint over bad paint on the wall that's flaky. It's broken. I mean, it's bad paint, and it's broken. I don't know how to say broken any other way. Nothing will heal it. Hair will not heal. It's dead. So don't use so much heat. That's the bottom answer. But it's a godsend to my industry, because the more heat you use, the more damage you do, the more conditioner I can send you to fix your hair that you've already damaged that you can't repair.
got it.
Cool.